Lee, I do want to ask you about Hawthorn versus St Kilda, but before I do, let's have a listen to Ross Lyon in the press conference yesterday discussing his frustration that he couldn't use the runner as much as he once did at Fremantle in the Saints' first time.
And it's not an excuse but we've had a lot of tight games, but we get 4 messages a quarter, and with 3 minutes to go, you can't send the runner, which is, I get that. It's not an excuse, but I know when you think the pressure that gets put on and you can pick up the phone and shift some stuff and maybe score better. I don't know, it's interesting. We're like neutered dogs, right? We sit there, can see stuff, and you can't use and you can't fix. It's very difficult, but it's not an excuse.
Lee, you're the coach. Is that a fair enough excuse?
Well, coaches would like 10 on the interchange bench, probably 2 runners with unlimited amount to send them out. But that's why you train during the week. You train for scenarios. And the players have to be able to manage those scenarios. Now, it helps if you've got a Scott Pendlebury out there or a Luke Hodge a few years ago, the players who can really organise. But I think the fact that the coach can't interfere in the game in the last few minutes, if you feel your players can't handle the moment, whatever that is, you haven't trained them well enough during the week.
That was an excuse, and Ross Lyon was trying to hide the fact that he was laughing. It was coaching 101, deflect, and his protege, Chris Scott, did the same in his press conference when he was talking about umpiring. For me, it's their ball movement. Look, they are so disciplined, and I'll give him that. He gets everybody on the same page. They get back and defend in heavy numbers. So when you watch the Saints play, they charge back, they do a great job defensively, but you still got to put pressure on the opposition and score. And these are just a couple of numbers that highlight then the transition out of their back half. So they take a lot of marks, they kick in defensive half, so they spend a lot of time right back in their back 50, but you've got to actually get out from your back 50, get up to the logos, almost a race back to the logos for me, because it's almost a bit chicken and the egg for me with the Saints at the moment with their goal kickers. Is he going slow because he doesn't trust the group up forward, or are the group up forward not going well because they're not moving quick enough? What do you think? I don't know at the moment, and the Saints fans would probably know a bit better. And so I just highlighted, these are their leading goal kickers from last year. Jack Higgins clearly suspended. He was going not too bad. Butler's been injured. King's battled a suspension and, of course, a bit of form. Owens is doing a hell of a lot of work up and back down from the ground, but not hitting the scoreboard. Gresham's now at the Bombers, and Caminiti hasn't got going at all. So, for me, it's the way they transition and move the footy. You can still play kick and mark, but you've got to actually take some territory off the opposition. Ask him a few more questions. A bizarre one. Matthias Philippou was dropped for the first time in his career this week, and one of his 2 managers, the one who looks after more of his endorsements than his actual contract, tweeted this today. David King, tell me who under the forward line has improved under Lyon. Owens, King, Philippou have gotten considerably worse. When they come in young, they just played and looked exciting. He's destroying them. So that was his tweet. He also liked a tweet that was also derogatory towards Ross Lyon. Now, I've just spoken to his manager. His name is Ned, and he said it was an emotional response from the couch, and I have no knowledge of what is going on behind the scenes, and it's an error. But, Lee, this is not the sort of instability that St Kilda needs right now when they're under the pump.
Oh, no, you don't. And the thing is, your players upfield subconsciously either have confidence or they don't have confidence in to kick the ball long and deep. Like, if you kick the ball long and deep and it bounces out too often, you try to be a little bit more slow, a little bit more precise, because all of a sudden the ball comes out the opposite side of the ground and the midfielders are out of position. So just possibly that thought of Jimmy that you're just talking about, that they just at the moment, because Max King isn't rewarding the kick in terribly often at the moment. So just at the moment, maybe the St Kilda players upfield, and this is not necessarily a coaching thing, it's more players upfield just want to be a little bit more careful to make sure we don't turn the ball over and just it bounces back.
Yeah, they just don't play the front half game at all, which a lot of the sides who have won premierships recently are always ranked in the top 4 for front half. They're last in scores from the forward half of the field and 16th for intercepts in the front half. So they're all trying to get back in and help out, but they're getting stuck back there.
And a few issues for the Saints. Not as many issues for the Hawks, who've won 2 in a row. I think they've won 3 of the last 4. Suddenly things are starting to look okay for them, Jimmy.
Yeah, I think people just need to be patient, and Sam Mitchell's got a clear plan. Look, they're trying to cobble together a forward line. Watson showed some skills, which we're happy about. I think people are a bit tough on a young player. They've certainly got young midfield talent and depth there, and they've just got to work out what their mix is. We spoke about that with the Crows early in the year, but who out of that big mix of midfielders they got pair well with each other, and depending on the situations in the game.
And they didn't kick a goal in the last quarter yesterday, but still managed to hold on in Tasmania, as you can see. They were very happy about that.